In this episode of Stecker Studios, we continue with part 2 of our tall double pinch pot vase. So here's our work from last time. So far we've combined 2 pinch pots, meeting them rim to rim, and we've smoothed and paddled them out to form our shape. Now we're going to start to form our footing. To do this, we're going to roll out a coil that's no thicker than our thumb, but no thinner than our pinky. Now we're going to take that coil and test fit it by wrapping it around the bottom and figuring out how long our coil needs to be. We're going to be making a ring and attaching it to the bottom to hold up our pinch pot. So now that we have an idea of how big it should be, we're going to cut it for size. We're going to stick it together. And next, we're going to start to score and slip in order to connect it. Now that we got our coil ring in shape, we're going to score it with our serrated rib tool. We're going to test fit one last time and also score the bottom of our pot where it's going to meet. Now let's get out our slip. We want to use a lot of slip to join our 2 pieces together, so spread a little more slip than you think you need. If it starts to squirt out the seams, you can take a little bit of that slip and blend it together to help seal it up and make sure it's stuck on there well. Remember, our slip is like our glue, so you want to use plenty of it. Now let's blend these seams together, spread out that clay and slip. Take a little bit of clay from the footing and blend it down into the pot and smooth it together so that everything is stuck together firmly. I oftentimes like to use a wooden sculpting tool like this, which helps to spread it nice and evenly and really does a good job sealing up the seams. Make sure you get the inside and the outside so we have a strong connection. Now that we got those seams blended together, pushing some clay from one piece to the other, we're just going to take a few moments to smooth it out and make sure that our seam is nice and smooth and fairly well hidden. Now that our footing is done, we're going to start to work on the rim. So we're going to take a small ball of clay and form another small pinch pot that will attach for the top to form the rim of our double pinch pot. So technically, I guess this makes it a triple pinch pot. Let's test fit and then refine just a little bit more. Now that this piece is ready, I usually like to trim the bottom of it off a little bit. This will give us our at least a starting hole, but it also makes sure that it's not too thick and that it fits well and kind of blends into the bottom of our pot. Of course, as always, we're going to make sure that we thoroughly score both pieces before connecting them. This gives it grip so that it sticks, and we're going to use a generous amount of slip on both parts. Hoping that some of it squirts out the sides to help give us a little extra seal to make sure everything is really well stuck together. Blend those seams up, make sure everything fits nicely together and everything is sealed up so that it stays. Now I'm going to take that wooden sculpting tool and I'm going to blend some clay from the top part of the rim down to the base of our pot. This is going to help seal it together and make sure everything is well connected. It will also help visually help the pot flow so that it looks like everything is one piece. Now we're ready to smooth and refine. So now after getting our rim and our footing put on our pot, I want to add one extra piece of detail. For this pot I want to add some lugs. So what I'm going to do here is roll out a thin coil. I just need some thin little loops in order to attach them and form some lugs. To help you roll out that coil, if it ever gets some flat spots, take the ends of the coil, twist them in opposite directions, and roll it some more. That'll help keep it nice and round. I'm going to curl it back in and get a nice round shape. And I'm going to try to cut 2 of these about the same size. Here's a little test fit. Now, before I attach my lugs, I'm going to put down a piece of foam rubber to help protect my pot while I work on it further. This first lug will kind of give me an idea of how big the second one should be, because I want them to be about the same size. So I'm going to reshape them. I'm going to use a Sharpie marker here to help me get a nice round inside shape. Another quick test fit, and then I'll score and slip to make sure that they're firmly attached. Let's take that serrated rib tool, score the base of our lugs, and we'll score the pot where we're going to attach them. As always, we're going to use a generous amount of slip, press them on there, and blend the seam together. Now let's do the same exact thing on the opposite side. We want to try to make sure that we both line them up so that they look like they're at about the same height, and make sure that they're kind of facing the same direction, that they're aligned properly, both vertically and horizontally. Okay, let's finish these lugs by smoothing out the seams. So that just about does it for this session. In our next session, we're going to finish off our pot by cutting open the rim and putting on some final touches to clean everything up. As always, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please think about liking and subscribing.